Hi, this is Jennifer Sardina again. I just realized I got cut off last time apparently, so I'm going to continue from where I left off. I was talking about modern day religion in the Garifuna culture, specifically about their belief in the saints, the Catholic saints, as well as in the Gubida, which is the ancestral spirit, and in Buiyes, which are actually the shamans or spirit helpers. The religious practices in the modern day include drumming, dancing, singing, and the consumption of alcohol as well. Because of these practices, they were often accused of devil worship by more orthodox churches. One of the more important religious traditions is called the dugu. The dugu was an important dance ritual that was performed whenever there was a family death or a family illness. A large feast would be prepared, and the guests dance and sing, which was led by a buiye, one of the shamans, who calls forth the gubida, or the spirit. The food and rum is then offered to the spirit, and in sort of like a ceremony showing the spirit's acceptance of the food and rum, it is all thrown in the sea or it's buried. One of the other parts of the Garifuna culture is the living conditions, which have obviously changed dramatically over the centuries. At first, they only had houses made of wood or of wattle and daub, which were woven sticks which were held together by clay. All the houses had thatched roofs, and the wooden houses were raised off the ground on posts to avoid flooding. Today, obviously, this has changed and a lot of the communities are more modernized, but there are still many villages that still have no electricity and don't have the kind of modern things we're used to today. Traditional clothing, the women wore these bright, full skirts, which were trimmed with shells, and they wore kerchiefs on their head, while the men kind of wore the traditional straw hats. Modern clothing is, well, completely modernized. Sort of like Western-style clothing, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a Garifuna person dressed versus how a European or someone in the United States would dress. It's completely the same. Their food is definitely still unique as well, and not much has changed from in the past until now, with the staples including rice, fish, green bananas, plantains, and coconut milk. Most of their recipes involve a combination of these ingredients. And one thing that is a little different from these ingredients is cassava bread, which is made from the cassava roots, which are ground up and made into bread. I guess like the main point of this presentation is to talk about the influence that the Garifuna culture has actually had on Latin American cinema. And the perfect example of this is the movie El Espíritu de mi Mamá. It's by Ali, and it's a dramatic tale of a woman's journey to her forgotten homeland. In this case, her name is Sanya, and she's a Garifuna single mother who's living in LA, and she finds herself being haunted by the memories of her dead mother, and also by the memories of this American soldier who she was in love with. After she gets fired from her job, she ends up traveling to Honduras, and there she learns more about the traditional Garifuna culture and learns about the rituals and ceremonies. And this really changes things for her and really touches her in a way, learning about her identity as a Garifuna woman, and she ends up teaching her daughter about this and trying to preserve her culture. And I think that this film is really a perfect representation of everything that this class has been trying to communicate, basically. It really demonstrates the influence of African Americans not only on Latin American cinema, but also on Latin America itself. It shows the innate desire for people to preserve their cultural identity, and also allows the cultural integrity to transfer into the realm of Latin American film, not just for the people themselves, not just for the community, but also into cinema. The Garifuna culture is a powerful example of the influence that African American descendants have had on Latin America, and I think that the film El Espíritu de mi Mamá shows that this influence is clearly evident in Latin American cinema as well. Well, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.